everyone. Welcome to the Cricketing Hour for a match we simply can't describe. Lahore Qalandars have done it. They are the champions of PSL8. To talk about that, I'm Hasan Malik.
I'm Hadi, Saif.
And here we are to talk about Shaheen Afridi, who's done the double and taken his team to become the joint most successful franchise in PSL history. Hadi, where do we even begin to talk about this game? There were twists and turns from beginning to end.
नहीं, let's talk about the total first. हम समझे कि 180 भी काफी होगा, seeing the difficult nature of this pitch. हमने देखा कि after that 13th over mark, normally the pitch slows down, the ball grips, और काफी मुश्किल होता है generally to play the spinners. लेकिन आज तो बिल्कुल नहीं लगा ये. After that 13 over mark, Multan were unstoppable. They were going on and on and on. Even after losing a few wickets, they did not let the run rate as in go below 9 at some point. So I think ये काफी बड़ी बात है to almost chase 200 on such a difficult pitch.
हाँ, पिच की अगर बात करें तो एक बात ये भी है कि जो फाइनल होता है वो एक ज़्यादा मेन मैच होता है, तो उसको कज़ाफ़ी स्टेडियम की सेंट्रल पिच पे खेला जाता है, विच इज़ यूजली अ बेटर विकेट, अ मोर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड विकेट, वो इतना डिटेरियोरेट भी नहीं करती. आज ठंड भी थोड़ी ज़्यादा थी, टेम्परेचर्स ऑफ 15-16 थ्रू आउट द गेम, तो ड्यू का भी शायद थोड़ा फैक्टर हो, बट टेक नथिंग अवे फ्रॉम मुल्तान सुल्तान्स. दे मतलब क्या कहे, they've reached 3 successive finals in a row now and they're one run away from becoming the most successful PSL franchise as well, even though they joined the PSL 2 years later.
No, absolutely. And the way they played, I mean, they started off as in guns blazing. With that, I think they as in made 40 in 3 overs or something like that. और इसके बाद उनका ऑनस्लॉट था. शाहीन हम देखते हैं न्यू बॉल के साथ ही थ्रेटनिंग, लेकिन इस मैच में बिल्कुल थ्रेटनिंग नहीं थे. उसामा as in hit him all across the park for a 4 and a 4 and a 4, और समझ नहीं आई हमें कि हम कैसे उनको रोकें उसामा को. और शाहीन की हम बात करें, स्विंग नहीं थी उनकी ऐसा स्विंग, हम वो देखते हैं इन स्विंगिंग यॉर्कर वो ऐसा था नहीं, लेकिन शाहीन डिडंट लर्न दैट, which I think is a very troubling thing, क्योंकि एक बॉलर जो आपका मेन लाइन बॉलर है पाकिस्तान टीम के लिए, वो फुल टॉस पे फुल टॉस कराई जा रहा है, सीन की कोई स्विंग नहीं है, तो इट्स अ लिटिल थ्रेटनिंग टू सी दैट.
हाँ, उस्मान ने तो वाकई बड़ी अच्छी बैटिंग की शाहीन के खिलाफ. और पहले पावर प्ले से ही शुरू करते हैं. मुल्तान के पावर प्ले में इट वॉज द ड्रीम स्टार्ट फॉर मुल्तान सुल्तान्स इफ दे वांट टू चेस 200. हमने रावलपिंडी में देखा था कि जब आपने हाई टोटल चेस करना होता है, उसका तरीका सिर्फ यही होता है कि आप कोई एक्स्ट्रा प्लानिंग ना करो, जस्ट गो हार्ड फ्रॉम बॉल 1, एंड दैट्स व्हाट मुल्तान डिड. एंड रियली मतलब 72 for the loss of just 1 wicket in the first 6 overs. फिर रॉसो आया, रॉसो took on all the bowlers. राशिद खान को ही played him out pretty well, but apart from that going gung ho, हर तरफ चौके छक्के मार रहे, exploiting all corners of the field. Power play में he was going really hard because he knew कि यही सबसे अच्छा opportunity है, सारा field in है, and he kept going over the top. फिर जब पावर प्ले ख़त्म हुआ तो he kept playing grounded shots ताकि अगर चौका ना भी हो तो वो सिंगल डबल ले पाएँ. फिर मिडिल ओवर्स में आपके ख्याल से वर लाहौर ऑन टॉप और मुल्तान?
I think it was, I think, a fair match in the middle overs, क्योंकि राशिद था, he took a little wickets उन्होंने बीच में की, और उसके अलावा मुल्तान की जो अच्छी बात थी, I think throughout the match was कि रन रेट उन्होंने बिल्कुल डिप नहीं करने दिया. Throughout the match विकेट्स गिरी, राशिद ने आउट किया, उसके बाद शाहीन ने भी विकेट ली, लेकिन उन्होंने बिल्कुल भी ऑनस्लॉट अपना खत्म नहीं किया. वन आफ्टर द अदर जो भी उनके प्लेयर्स आते रहे, पॉलार्ड, टिम डेविड, खुशदिल शाह, उन्होंने बस नहीं की मारने. I think if you look at all of their strike rates, it's above 125 or 200 in the case of Khushtil Shah. So I think it was a pretty even middle over spread, seeing that kind of pitch we've seen in the past couple of days, or the quality that Lahore possesses. हमने देखा कि Rashid is such a quality bowler, and with the likes of Zaman, with Haris went for a lot there, even in those middle overs. So I think Multan fought really well in those middle overs against a very, very difficult bowling attack.
अच्छा, I've got a bone to pick with Kieran Pollard. I simply think 19 of 16 is not enough. 200 का target है, 19 of 16 is basically a runner ball. And even Tim David 20 of 16, that's basically the same. These are two hitters. These are two players Multan would rely on. And Pollard was player of the game in their last match against Lahore. The qualifier played really well, but today simply couldn't get going. When Rashid was bowling, when Pollard came to the crease first, पहली 2 balls he defended, which is fine. Rashid उसका negative matchup है, he's playing him out. But then he also couldn't get going against the fast bowlers. फिर आखिरकार when Shaheen came, we felt कि now Pollard can hit. Pollard has never been dismissed by Shaheen Afridi. Pollard has a strike rate of 193 against Shaheen Afridi, but when it came to this final, it was Shaheen Afridi who managed to dismiss him. That's how finals go, that's what crunch moments really are, and that is what Lahore Qalandars managed to nail. Crunch moments की अगर बात करें तो पूरा death overs ही 60 of 30, and talk us through that, Hadi. Death overs में 60 of 30 से how did we get to 13 of 6 and 4 of 1?
नहीं, death overs में बात करें, it was pretty bold by Shaheen to come and bowl the 17th over, I think. और उन्होंने आके किया at a point when I think things were looking a little comfortable for Lahore. I was expecting कि Shaheen अपना last over bowl करेंगे, लेकिन he came in early और उन्होंने आके wickets भी pick up की. And we saw that slow ball which we were missing in the past couple of matches. हम कह रहे थे he was trying to bowl that Yorker in the past couple of matches, लेकिन he wasn't being able to hit that middle-ish line. आज उन्होंने स्लो बॉल यूज की, गॉट कायरन पॉलार्ड आउट ऑफ दैट स्लो बॉल, उनकी जो रिस्की सी स्लो ऑफ कटर मारते हैं वो, and that was interesting to see. He bowled really well in those death overs. Haris Rauf would be a concern, I think, in that second last over on the penultimate over. It was just an onslaught by Abbas Afridi. They were not, I'd say, particularly bad balls which Haris Rauf bowled, and they were quick balls. I mean, 150 पे, 145 पे, अच्छी खासी पेस थी balls की. और अब्बास अफरीदी ने तो ऐसे मारा के सामने कोई क्लास 5 का बच्चा खड़ा हुआ है, which was very interesting to see. और एक उन्होंने जो मारी, I think फाइन लेग या थर्ड मैन के ऊपर से शॉट, that was unlucky. लेकिन उसके अलावा I think सारी उन्होंने आगे long off पे लगाई shots and just kind of turned the match in Multan's favor.
I think the last two overs really tell a story. One, Haris Rauf is an experienced pro, but just tonight couldn't hold his nerve. The other, Zaman Khan, is a rookie youngster who's never played an international match. He managed to hold his nerve, taking Lahore to a one-run win. This is not the first time he's done this. ये PSL हम बताते चले शुरू हुआ था with a Lahore versus Multan game. Lahore winning by 1 run in an over defended by Zaman Khan. It ends in the final with Lahore winning by 1 run defended by Zaman Khan. सिर्फ ये डेजा वू नहीं था, पिछले साल भी फाइनल था, वो भी कजाफी में था, वो भी लाहौर मुल्तान था, वो भी लाहौर जीता. तो आई थिंक दिस मैच इज जस्ट एन ओमाज टू द सेइंग हिस्ट्री रिपीट्स इटसेल्फ. काफ़ी चीज़ें रिपीट हुई एंड येट स्टिल इट वाज सो यूनिक.
नहीं, एब्सोल्युटली. और लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दैट फाइनल ओवर ज़मान ने किया to take up all that pressure. और he's a youngster, I think उन्होंने सिर्फ अभी खेले 2 seasons हैं PSL के, और to bowl that over with such pressure, सारों को चौके पड़ रहे थे. Even Haris Rauf, who was an experienced campaigner, was hit all across the board with 4s and 6s. तो to come in and bowl that slow ball, I think उसमें काफी हिम्मत चाहिए होती है करने के लिए. And that bouncer जो almost चौके के लिए गया first ball के लिए against Kushtil Shah and against Abbas Afridi, which was I think very very unusual to see कि कोई death overs में bouncer मारा है, लेकिन it was a good choice by Zaman. और उसके अलावा we must talk about his Yorkers जो उन्होंने मारे. They were bang on leg stump पे उन्होंने Yorkers मारे and just couldn't carry into the ball Kushtil.
हाँ, and it all came down to that 4 of 1 by Kushtil, who managed to hit it to wide long on, and then the fielder there, David Visa, fumbled it for a second. I think pura stadium for 1 millisecond now, they had their heart in their throats when Visa fumbled that ball. Multan were about 2 yards away from taking it to a super over. They almost ran that 3, and I don't think any of us could have taken a super over. What would that have been? But David Visa की अगर बात करें, really good bowling from him. But tonight he didn't just contribute with the ball. He contributed with something much bigger than that, and that was his catch of Rizwan, जिसको थर्ड अंपायर आसिफ याकूब ने, तो मेरे ख्याल से उनको वो कैच लगा इतना अच्छा, वो 2 मिनट बार उसके रिप्लेस दिखाई जा रहे थे.
नहीं, और लेट्स टॉक अबाउट कि कैसे गेम उसके बाद कंप्लीट टर्न की. और इट इज दो स्पेशल मोमेंट्स जो लेती है अच्छी टीम व्हिच एक्चुअली विंस दीस मैचेस. और वीसा ने काफी एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी किया. राशिद को आई थिंक 2 चौके पड़े हुए थे इस ओवर में, और तीसरा पड़ा था तो शायद राशिद का कॉन्फिडेंस भी टूट गया था उसमें. लेकिन वीसा ने काफी कमाल कैच पकड़ा, उन्हें बार रिप्ले किए जा रहे थे, मुझे भी डर लगा था कि आउट हो जाए. लेकिन आई थिंक इट्स इनक्रेडिबल टू सी कि एट दैट एज ही कैन स्टिल पुल ऑफ थिंग्स लाइक दिस.
हाँ, एंड द थिंग विच द थर्ड एम्पायर वाज चेकिंग वाज कि जो जैज़ की बाउंड्री कोन थी ना, हिज राइट फुट वाज रियली क्लोज टू दैट. वो एंगल में इतना क्लीन नजर आ रहा था, बट इवेंचुअली इट वाज गिवन एज आउट. आई थिंक इट वाज अ मिस्टेक फ्रॉम रिजवान, because Rashid Khan is a leg spinner, he's spinning the ball away from the right hander. Rizwan का negative matchup है वो, तो वैसे भी he had just 2 more overs left. पहले ही 2 चौके पड़ चुके हुए थे ओवर में. I think he should have played Rashid out. I think वो instinctive उनने एक गलती की which he hit. उसमें एक फैक्टर शायद था सैम बिलिंग्स, जो कि मेरे ख्याल से आप रमीज़ राजा वगैरह को छोड़े, उसने ना आज विकेट कीपिंग माइक पे अपना पूरा कमेंट्री का सेटअप किया हुआ था. हर बॉल की भरपूर कमेंट्री किए जा रहे थे वो, एंड ही वाज सेइंग एट दैट पॉइंट कि ही इज गोना हिट अ स्लॉग स्वीप, इट्स गोना बी अ टॉप एज. बता रहे थे रिजवान को कैसे आउट होना है, तो मे बी रिजवान ने फ्रस्ट्रेट होकर वो शॉट मारी.
नहीं, और भी we've seen that in innings पीछे भी जब ऋषभ पंच टाइप प्लेयर्स याप करते रहते हैं पीछे, तो it gets to you after some time. और I think it got to रिजवान, उन्होंने उनको तब चढ़ गई कि I'll also take Rashid on, because राशिद की हमने देखा थोड़ी verbal हो रही थी बैटल उनसे रूसो से in the past over. So I think that contributed to Rizwan being a little angry, which we don't see that often. And Rizwan, I think, went for a shot he shouldn't have, and he should have played Rashid out for that over.
अच्छा ज़रा बात करते हैं अबाउट द मैन ऑफ द मोमेंट शाहीन शाह अफरीदी, बिकॉज हिज बॉलिंग वॉज ऑल्सो अ टेल ऑफ टू गार्डन्स. फर्स्ट 2 overs 34 no wicket, लास्ट 2 overs 4 wickets, won the game for his team. तो ये टर्न अराउंड कैसे आया?
I think turnaround आया था, लेकिन he didn't bowl particularly well in depth, in my personal opinion. उन्होंने bowling cutters कराए थे उन्होंने into the pitch, which weren't picked by Pollard on the second wicket ली, लेकिन we saw that Shaheen was very, very expensive today. I think he needs to learn कि जब swing नहीं हो रही होती ball, he needs to learn to hit that hard length और थोड़े से अपना outswinger भी develop करें. उसके अलावा in the death we saw a little bit of old Shaheen back with those Yorkers. शुरू में तो उन्होंने miss किए and Pollard hammered him away towards fine leg. लेकिन उसके बाद we got to see that slow ball जिसमें उन्होंने into the pitch कराई ball, and that really deceived the batsman. और एक काफी अच्छी बात है seeing कि we haven't seen Shaheen bowl in the death for quite a while now.
आई थिंक बड़े प्लेयर की यही निशानी होती है कि ही परफॉर्म्स एट दोज क्रंच मोमेंट्स. और अगर आप देखिए उन्होंने जो आज विकेट्स लिए हैं, इट्स पॉलार्ड, डेविड, एंड देन ही इज गॉटन रिड ऑफ एक दो खुशदिल शाह के रनआउट में इन्वॉल्व थे, अनवर अली, उसामा मीर. तो पांचों जो हिटर्स हैं, द फेम्ड हिटर्स ऑफ मुल्तान, उन पांचों के डिसमिसल में शाहीन का रोल था. एंड बाकी अबाउट द सेकेंड इनिंग्स, जस्ट वन फाइनल नोट, खुशदिल शाह एंड अब्बास अफरीदी, just how did they pull the game back from Multan? I tell you, if Khushteel Shah can put in more performances like that, the Pakistan team perhaps isn't too far away.
Yeah, absolutely, and we need that finisher. I think we wanted to see Asif in that light for quite a while now, and Asif has stepped up on some occasions. Lekin we need that Joss Butler, we need that MS Dhoni style player in Pakistan right now, which can finish games in those crunch moments. And I think it's very great to see that players like Khushteel Shah can come up and make those 13 runs in the last over and kind of come up with those innovative shots. और हमने अच्छी बात ये देखी that he held his nerve in the last over. He didn't go for a ramp, he didn't go for a paddle scoop, he went for cricketing shots, or they paid off in the end. Might not have gotten over the end, लेकिन I think he played a decent knock.
खुशदिल को छोड़े अब्बास अफरीदी की बात करें, उनने कहा अगर शाहीन एक बॉलर है वो कैन बैट, तो मैं कौन सा कम हूँ? आई एम पर्पल कैप होल्डर, पर्पल कैप तो सॉरी आईपीएल में होती है, द फजल महमूद कैप होल्डर ऑफ द पीएसएल. आई कैन बैट जस्ट एज वेल, एंड बॉय डिड ही बैट जस्ट एज वेल. 17 of 6. हारिस रऊफ, आई मीन हारिस रऊफ तो सोच रहे होंगे मैंने कोहली वगैरह को बॉलिंग कराई, मैंने रोहित शर्मा और बटलर को बॉलिंग कराई है, ये कहाँ से आ गए?
नहीं, लेकिन हमने ये वीकनेस देखी है हारिस रऊफ. इवन इन दैट पाकिस्तान वर्सेस इंडिया मैच सेकंड लास्ट ओवर में उन्होंने कोहली से भी रन खाए थे. आई थिंक इट काइंड ऑफ
दोस टू बैक टू बैक सिक्सेस,
और मसला ये कि he didn't go pace off in that over. उन्होंने 140, 145, 150, 151, 152, which is I think a big problem for Haris. He needs to kind of use that slow ball effectively. वो करते हैं use slow ball effectively, लेकिन ऐसे मोमेंट में I don't understand कि why he needs to go quicker rather than go smarter.
ये भी है. अब जरा लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द फर्स्ट इनिंग्स नाउ. तो अ प्रीटी गुड स्टार्ट फ्रॉम लाहौर. दे वर 95 for 1 before Usama Mir absolutely ran through their middle order. तो Mirza Tahir Beg got off to a good start. Fakhar Zaman, I think 39 of 34 is not acceptable. I think 200 for 6 का match, and I think had Multan gotten over the line, a lot of fingers would be pointed towards Fakhar right now, because ek to he hasn't been doing too well in the past 3-4 matches, and now a strike rate of 114 in a 200 place 200 game, really not good enough, I think.
Yeah, I think let's talk about that middle order collapse. When we talk about Sam Billings, even or maybe Fakhr Zaman or Sikandar Raza, even Ehsan Bhatti, I mean, they tumbled as a team. And if it were not for Shaheen Afidi, who kind of played his incredible knock, 40, 44 or 15, they would have not gotten to even 170, I feel. Because I think they were 113 or 112 for 5. And in a 200 match, I think that's just a disgrace to be in that position. Seeing the kind of batting firepower you have. Rashid was yet to come. हमने देखा कि शाहीन का काफी bold move थी पिछले मैच में भी to promote himself in the order against players like Visa or Rashid Khan, who are kind of specialists when we talk about death overs. But Shaheen stepped up on the big occasion and kind of didn't let the middle order collapse get to him and his team.
Actually, tactics wise, we saw something very interesting from Rizwan because he was holding Osama Mir back. He did not bowl a single over of spin in the first 10 overs because he knew unka spinner Osama Mir hai, who's a leg spinner, and he wanted to get rid of Fakhr, the left hander, before bringing on Osama. Until eventually Fakhr out होने का नाम ही नहीं रहा था. Then he brought on Osama, and Osama suddenly ran through the middle order. So do you think that was a mistake? Should Osama and Khoshdil have been brought on earlier?
I don't think it will be easy to judge whether they have been brought on earlier because we've seen that Fakhr has been susceptible to the new ball when we talk about Anwar Ali या Sheldon Contrell और उनकी बॉल सीम की थी पिछले मैच में. इस दफा आई थिंक इट्स अ फेयर जजमेंट कि आप उनको ले आओ शुरू के 4 ओवर्स में कि आपके शुरू के 4 ओवर तो कराने ही होते हैं फास्ट बॉलर्स इन आइदर केस. उसके बाद आई थिंक putting on a leg spinner against Fakhr in the power play is not a good thing to do because Fakhr wild swings करता है अपने लपेटे मारता है. तो with that कोई टॉप एज का भी चौका चला जाता है ओवर फाइन लेग और इवन ओवर थर्ड मैन, तो ये काफी मसला होता है इवन इन द पावर प्ले कि कोई भी हाफ हिट शॉट आपकी छक्के चौके ले चली जाती है.
Let's talk about Abdullah Shafiq then. 65 at a strike rate of 163. Last year we saw Shafiq scoring runs as well, but he was raw. This year he's a finished product because now he's leveled up his strike rate to a whole new level. And इतने crunch moment पे perform करना, एक तो that's the sign of a big player. 65 उनने runs बनाए, carried his bat through. उनकी acceleration बड़ी मजे की थी. He was 42 of 33, which is fine. He batted through the middle order collapse. लेकिन then 23 of the last 7 balls he was crucial in the death, hitting out until of course Anwar Ali managed to get rid of him. He was a great partner to Shaheen Shah Afridi. So I mean, I think Shafiq potentially is one of the reasons Lahore won.
Yeah, I think when you talk about that middle order collapse, he was kind of the player who put the team together and held them together in that respect. Because wickets kept on tumbling and Lahore looked in a spot of bother and Lahore were collapsing again and again. तो उसके बाद he kind of provides stability through that middle order. उन्होंने अपनी wicket फेंकी नहीं, unlike other players. उन्होंने he played through the spin, he played through the क्या कहते हैं low bouncing pitch, और उसके बाद क्या कहते हैं accelerated with Shaheen. Once Shaheen took on the spinners and took on the fast bowlers, he kind of followed suit and kind of helped Lahore reach a target of 200. उनके बगैर तो I think it would have been a collapse of 160 even.
I think हमें अपने viewers को remind करना चाहिए कि after 15 overs, Lahore's score was 115. That is not a 200 score. That looks like you're probably going to get to 160 or 170 max. 85 in the last 5 overs. Credit to Shaheen Shah Afridi. What has he done?
And we talk about the wickets they had. I think they were 112 for 5 at that one point. And even after 15 overs, if you're 115 for 5, it's not possible to have a tail ender come and score 45 or 15. When we talk about Shaheen Afridi, at the end of the day, he's a tail order batsman. लेकिन उन्होंने अपनी class दिखाई आके.
Not anymore.
He told us what the Afridi blood is made out of, and आज वो आए, उनकी family भी आई हुई थी, and he kind of made a point to prove to Multan that he is also a batsman as carried on by his family legacy.
हाँ बिल्कुल. एंड एक तो शाहीन ने बड़ा अच्छा खेला. 85 in the last 5 overs. That's an astounding number. And it was actually Visa's turn to bat. Visa was padded up. Visa had started walking down to enter the pitch. And then he suddenly saw कि शाहीन तो वहाँ पहुँच ही गया और शाहीन ने ऐसे इशारा किया नहीं नहीं मैं आ गया वहाँ. And I think even the pavilion was surprised कि भैया क्या चला गया हमें हराना दे मैच. लेकिन भाई Shaheen Shah Afridi, big game player, 44 of just 15 balls, staying unbeaten. Ehsanullah, the best bowler of the PSL, is bowling 145 bolts at you and you're hitting them out of the ground for 6. That is not a tail order batsman, let me tell you. That is unbelievable.
No, and we saw that he got into Hasanalla's head when we talk about that
5
last
wides.
over Hasanallah bowled. Where 5 or I think 4 or 5 wide थी
5 wides in an over.
5 wides in that over. You can just see the kind of pressure Hasanallah was put on by a so-called tail-ender batsman by Shaheen Afridi. And to kind of counteract those balls जो आपके पास 150 kph पे bouncers आ रहे हैं, yorkers आ रहे हैं, and he played classical shots, pull और आगे uppercut. तो इसमें it's quite क्या कहते हैं काफी अच्छी बात है कि पाकिस्तान को ऐसा बैट्समैन मिल गया अब कि हमारी डेप्थ और बढ़ गई बैटिंग में और इवन लाहौर के लिए भी दे हैव नाउ एन 8th बैट्समैन अब समझ नहीं आ रही मुझे लाहौर की कि इनकी क्या 9th पे जाके बैटिंग लाइनअप खत्म होता है कुछ समझ तो नहीं आ रही इसके बाद राशिद भी है वीसा भी है तो कभी समझ नहीं आएगी मुझे लाहौर की आउट कैसे करना साथ में
अच्छा ज़रा रिजवान के बॉलिंग चेंजेस की बात करते हैं एक तो आफ्टर दैट डिजास्ट्रस ओवर बाय Hasanullah he took Hasanullah off the track off the attack gave the over to Anwar Ali instead Hasanullah did not complete his quota ऊपर से Anwar Ali को भी 22 runs पड़ गए and ऊपर से Usama Mir who was the main bowler did not get to complete his quota as well I think personally he should have gone with 1 over of Usama Mir at the death which is unusual because spinners को हम usually death में नहीं बॉल देते तब तक ड्यू भी ज़्यादा आ चुकी होती है but I think अगर पेसर्स को इतनी मान मिल रही है maybe the 16th or 17th should have gone to Usama दूसरा I still would have gone with Ehsan for the penultimate over because ठीक है he had one disaster of an over but Anwar Ali wasn't better than that and Ehsan का at least prior record तो है he's been so good in not only the PSL even his first 2 overs in this match तो I think perhaps that was a mistake from Rizwan and अगर एक रन भी ज़्यादा बच पाता तो maybe it would be him holding the trophy today.
And we talk about कि last over में I think Multan really panicked जो उनको runs पे runs पड़ी जा रहे थे and they had to bring in Anwar Ali which is I think not a good choice जैसे हसन ने बात की कि Ehsanullah is your main bowlers I mean your fastest bowler in the team is your death over specialist and when you're kind of dropping him to not bowl his last over it's not good to see कि आप एक youngster का confidence पे I think shatter होता है seeing कि उनको last over नहीं मिल रहा तो I think कि रिजवान की शायद ही छोटा मोटा blunder हुआ उसमें
सही but I think tactics and strategies aside the asl thing is the actual execution on the field and when it came to the fact it's simple Lahore scored 200 Multan scored 199 Lahore get to take home the trophy but Multan are equally deserving let no one make any mistake they've reached 3 successive finals now they've won 1 they've lost 2 that's fine एक game में तो कुछ भी हो सकता है again they won the qualifier they were the first team to reach the finals again this year they have the number 1 wicket taker they have the number 1 highest run scorer of the PSL so another spectacular season from them great work to the management as well जो हैदर अजहर है अली तरीन है I think they've done a great job as well लेकिन लाहौर की भी बात करनी चाहिए if you told someone in 2019 कि in 2023 Lahore will be the most successful team of the PSL they would have probably thrown you out of the house because आकिब जावेद को इतने ताने पड़ते थे फवाद राना समीन राना को ताने पड़ते थे कि आप लोग पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हो आप लोग हर साल लास्ट ईयर the first 4 years in a row they finished bottom of the table didn't qualify a single time now they have 3 finals in 4 years they have 2 trophies in 2 years they're the first team to successfully defend their trophy and एक तो उनका प्लेयर डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम को क्रेडिट जाता है जिसको पहले लोग कहे थे ये तो एक मार्केटिंग प्लॉय है it doesn't do anything it actually has done a lot for them it's brought them 2 trophies as well in case you didn't notice and really I mean the way they've built their team शाहीन हारिस जमान जो उनकी फास्ट बॉलिंग का कोर है राशिद को उन्होंने प्लग किए बैटिंग में उनके पास फ़ख्र है इतनी ऑप्शंस हैं I think it's a lesson in team building
Yeah, I think so as well. And we talk about Shaheen Afridi. Nobody talks about his captaincy in the past 2 seasons. उन्होंने जो captaincy की, it was fearless captain, kind of promoting yourself in the batting order and being aggressive as a bowler. Because it's great to see कि एक aggressive player captain बनता है team का, because he brings that attackive mindset to the field. और हमने पिछले 2 seasons में देखा है कि Shaheen came onto the field with that do or die scenario कि या फिर हम 200 करें या फिर हम 76 पे out हो जाएं, जैसे पिछले मैच में हुए थे. So which is I think a good thing क्योंकि या फिर you lose either you go big or you go home I think that's the motto Shaheen lives by and I think that's a good motto to live by and even Pakistan should learn that from Shaheen's back captaincy
सही अच्छा तो putting you on the spot then Hadi We've praised Shaheen, the captain. Is Babar Azam's place in threat as Pakistan captain?
I still believe Babar Azam is the best all format player in Pakistan's history, if I must say so.
Whoa.
And I think Babar Azam should be the captain at least for the next couple of years because see the amount of success we've had when he's the captain. We've reached the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup, the final of the T20 World Cup, the final of the Asia Cup, and his team has also reached the semi-finals of the PSL. So we overlook his success he's had as a captain. हमारे जो 2012 से लेके 2017 तक we were nothing as a team. हम कोई टूर्नामेंट नहीं पहुंचे थे फाइनल में. I think 2021 was the first year after 8 years that we reached an ICC T20 Men's World Cup final. That is just not a great sign क्योंकि हमारे पास talent हमेशा शुरू से ही था. लेकिन Babar Azam, credit goes to the way he played and the way he kind of merges his team together and allows them to play as a unit per se and gives them confidence. उन्होंने back किया players को like Shaheen, he brought them into the side, he brought players like Haris into the side, Abdullah Shafiq, ये सारे Babar Azam का एक कमाल है. And I think we should credit him for the way he's put together this team for the past couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. I think team के अभी national team के order को disrupt नहीं करना चाहिए. I still think Babar should be the captain there. Having said that, ज़रा हम बात करते हैं about the PSL as a whole. So firstly, Hadi, today in the final, I was going to ask you who will be the man of the match. I think it's a very easy choice. Someone who's taken 4 wickets, someone who scored 44 of just 15 balls. Any doubts?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's a question when we talk about the player of the match. It's Shaheen Afridi with that knock which actually changed the course of a match. हम देखते नहीं कि skippers ऐसे step up करते हैं finals के अंदर. लेकिन आज Shaheen really played the captain's knock and stepped up to make that 44 or 15 and even took 4 wickets when he was pummeled for 35 runs in his first 2 overs. उसके बाद to come back and take 4 wickets is testament to how great he is.
अच्छा तो player of the tournament की तरफ अब बढ़ते हैं. I think player of the match तो बड़ा obvious ही है. Who is your player of the tournament? I'll go for maybe a controversial pick, but Imad Wasim. 404 runs. He is the 3rd best batter of the PSL while not even being a batter. उसके अलावा he's also the 11th best bowler of the PSL. He's taken up 9 wickets, scored crucial knocks. And we've just said उसने 400 runs बनाए हैं. He's only behind Babar and Rizwan and his strike rate is better than both of them. So I think batting wise, bowling wise, all-rounder wise, he's also a captain. उसका भी burden है, although his team unfortunately couldn't perform. Individual level पे अगर किसी को award देना है, I think it's Imad.
I agree with you क्योंकि I don't think there's a person who stands out as much as Imad does in this PS. हम बात करें Fazal Mahmood Cap की are the person who got the most wickets. They've not made that much impact in the tournament. हमने बात करते हैं Rizwan की और even हम बात करते हैं Abbas Afridi की. Yes, they were great throughout the tournament. They weren't exceptional, and we saw that Imad was that X factor. And had his team gotten into the semi-final, I think he would have carried them a long, long way.
अच्छा तो और वैसे contenders कौन है for the player of the tournament? Any outside chances?
Well, let's talk about a couple of them. I think हम batsmen की काफी बात करते हैं, bowlers की भी बात करनी चाहिए. We talk about Rashid Khan for Lahore Qalandars. He was a great pick, even gave some handy runs at the end. और उसके अलावा आई थिंक एक इंटरेस्टिंग पिक होगी हमारी, लेकिन मे बी आई थिंक मोहम्मद हारिस फ्रॉम पेशावर ज़ल्मी, seeing the kind of fiery starts he provided, I think it's overlooked by people, लेकिन he was a difference in many matches. उन्होंने 84 he expected of 183 in this T20 tournament, 183, which is unparalleled, which is not seen across the board, which is I think people don't look at as much.
I think his contribution has been much higher than most people are talking about. He deserves to be talked about more because he has had a phenomenal PSL and I think कि उसने पाकिस्तान टीम में अपनी जगह पक्की कर ली है. Yes, he played the World Cup. He was in and out of the team. अब I think there shouldn't be any question about it. Man of the tournament से हट के ज़रा in general बात करते हैं. Who do you think was the best bowler of the tournament?
But I think the player of the tournament has just gotten in. It's Hasan. So I think we'll have to go with quick info here. So I think Hasan, when we talk about the kind of PSL he had, I think this was the only off match he's had in this entire PSL. And that just shows, it's a testament to how great of a player he is. And the pace he brings into the match. I think उन्होंने अभी इंटरव्यू किया था, उन्होंने कहा था कि आपका प्लान क्या होता है, वो कहते हैं मैंने तेज करानी बॉल. अच्छा आपका फिर से प्लान क्या होता है, मैंने उसे तेज करानी है बॉलिंग, which is I think a testament to पाकिस्तानी bowlers होते कैसे हैं कि मैंने 150 kpa टच करना है, which is something he regularly did throughout the plays.
I don't disagree with that too much. I still think Imad का ज़्यादा हक बनता है, but if not Imad, Ehsanullah's number two for me. Because you may say कि Abbas got more wickets. You may say कि Rizwan scored a ton of runs. You may say Ehsan didn't win the final. But Ehsan ने जो impact किए in every single game almost he's taken a wicket. Sure, he may not have taken the most wickets, that's Abbas. But Abbas ज़्यादातर bowling कराते death overs में he took 9 wickets in the death at Rawalpindi जब batsmen वैसे ही slog कर रहे होते हैं trying to chase 250. So he got a few free wickets. Yes, he's been exceptional, but Ehsan has definitely been a level above that. The first over he bowled today against Lahore, the fifth over of the game, when Lahore were absolutely blazing, I think that was the over of the tournament. 3 consecutive dots, a single, a dot, and a wicket, the wicket of Mirza Tahir Beg. No one could play him. आपने 3 consecutive dots का फखर जमान को आप 145 पे पूरा ओवर करा रहे हो. Stole the momentum from Lahore. I think Ehsan too. He's basically been what Dahani was in PSL6. It's now Ehsan in PSL8.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's the first bowler जो बना है player of the tournament in the PSL, which
wow,
is
that's an amazing stat.
उन्होंने कैसा हुआ है, because it's such a batter dominated sport cricket. हम बात करते हैं 85% of all man of the match awards are gone to batsmen, even player of the tournament. I think मैं पहली दफा देख रहा हूँ किसी बड़ी लीग के अंदर कि कोई player of the tournament कोई bowler हुआ. I think the last time I can remember would be in the early 2000s maybe. So I think it's great to see that fast bowlers are now getting the recognition that they deserve.
Absolutely, this is phenomenal and the lad deserves it. Really unbelievable stuff from Ehsanullah. थोड़ी और बात करते हैं. So Hadi, I think एक question तो अभी आंसर ही हो गया with the player of the tournament announcing. But if you had to pick the 3 best emerging stars of the PSL, who are they?
Well, 2 of them are in Peshawar, so it will be Mohammad Haris, Saim Ayub, and the third one would be Ehsanullah.
I think that's a pretty straightforward answer as well. In the bowling side, I'd go for Ehsanullah and Abbas Afridi. In the batting side, Mohammad Haris probably. But उनके अलावा अगर हम देखें फ्रॉम लाहौर साइड जमान खान ने बहुत अच्छी डेथ बॉलिंग कराई है. उनको हमेशा लास्ट ओवर दे देते हैं बेचारे को. आई डोंट नो उस बेचारे ने क्या जुल्म किया है जो हमेशा बेचारे को लास्ट ओवर दे देते हैं. बट ही इज़ एब्सोल्युटली लिव्ड अप टू द मार्क. थोड़ी और बात करते हैं. तो हु डू यू थिंक आर द 2 players or even just 1 player in the PSL who underperformed below expectations?
I think Fakhar Zaman. Fakhar Zaman had that one great match with that, I think 96 he scored. Like, apart from that, he's been below par throughout the tournament, which is not good to see. जो हमारे collapses हुए थे लाहौर के, he was the contributing factor in that. The match me and Hasan went to see, उसके अंदर भी उन्हें पहली बॉल पे super shot मार के out हो गए. And this was something we saw again and again. Even in today's match, I think 39 of 34, the strike rate of 114, which is just not acceptable in these modern game.
Acha, I think with all due respect, my underperforming player is someone who's not had a bad PSL. It's not been a torrid PSL, but if we talk about expectations, he certainly didn't meet that bar. That's Shadab Khan. Neither with ball nor with bat, I don't think he was at the level we've come to expect of him. But here he's now the captain for the upcoming Afghanistan series. I am sure he'll bounce back. I am sure this is just a blip. But let's hope that he certainly improves from this PSL.
Certainly, we need a kind of player like Shadab in this match to perform and in this tournament to perform, because we wanted to see that all-rounder that we've come to see in the past couple of years. Shadab ki jo bowling hai, unki jo batting hai, he promoted himself to even 2 down a couple of years ago. So it was just heartbreaking to see that he came at around in at 7 or in at 8, which is not a great sign for even Pakistan fans. We saw him throughout the World Cup. उन्होंने innings खेली, especially against South Africa. उन्होंने propel किया Pakistan to 180 पे. So it is not great to see कि Pakistan का भी जो current captain है, which is not performing well. And I think शायद fitness का थोड़ा बहुत ही मसला हो, क्योंकि he was not bowling that well. और उनकी half trackers are testament कि I don't think he's fully fit yet.
Say that's true. Right then, I think that's a wrap. It's not just a wrap to the PSL, it's also a wrap to the Cricketing Hours coverage of HBL PSL 8. From National Stadium Karachi to Qazafi Stadium Lahore, from low scores at Karachi and Qazafi to higher scores in Rawalpindi, from chasing down 240 and 250 to getting bowled out for 76. What a journey it's been, Hadi.
नहीं, and we've seen what के ये लीग हमें ऑफर क्या करती है. We wanted to see that chase. We got to see that chase when 240 was chased down. We saw those low scores in 76. So we finally, I think PSL is now comparable to IPL in many sorts of ways. And the bowling we've seen in this PSL has been exceptional and has been, has been compared to none, and has been a foundation to many young players such as Saim Ayub, such as Mohammad Haris, such as Hasanullah. Even when we talk about foreign players, Kohler Cadmore and players like that who aren't really focused on in the media have come up here and performed in this match.
Right, absolutely. But I think this PSL definitely is a step up from the previous 7. Ek to in terms of quality of matches, we've had more close matches than perhaps any other season. एक और फैक्टर ये भी था कि इस सीजन में भी फाइनली हैड वेराइटी ऑफ पिचेस. इट वाजंट प्लेड जस्ट in Karachi and Lahore. We had 2 new stadiums, Multan and Rawalpindi, जिन पे proper अच्छे खासे matches खेले गए, and inshallah we'll have the Bukti Stadium and another stadium near Peshawar coming soon. So with that, I think a final note for the cricketing hour. It's definitely been a pleasure bringing you this coverage, but this is not the end. Inshallah we've got more to come. The cricket season has got more to come. Pakistan will be playing their next series against Afghanistan, and there's cricket going on all over the globe. So you'll definitely be seeing a lot more of the cricketing hour over the coming few months, inshallah. Any other thoughts, Hadi?
But I think I'd just like to emphasize what a journey it has been throughout the PSL and throughout the wild ride which has been. हमने जो पिछले एक महीने से देखा कि कितना close ये PSL रहा with the kind of high total we've had. I think it's unparalleled to any other league. हमने किसी और league में ये नहीं देखा कि 240 आराम से chase हो रहा है. या फिर हम देख रहे हैं कि कोई बंदा आके 150 मार रहा है. तो इट्स बीन क्वाइट हेक ऑफ अ जर्नी, एंड आई थिंक इट्स ग्रेट टू सी कि हमारी आज ये जर्नी खत्म हुई कि नॉट द क्रिकेटिंग अब हमारा आई थिंक अगला मैच अफगानिस्तान के साथ. तो इट्स बीन अ ग्रेट जर्नी एंड इट्स ओवर नाउ.
Absolutely, but I still think there's going to be a lot more to come, inshallah, we hope. So right then, अगर आपको अच्छा लगा लाइक करें, बुरा लगा डिसलाइक करें, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon as well. वो और भी अच्छा हो जाएगा. We hope to see you at the cricketing hour, where we'll continue to take you beyond the scorecards into the strategy. Allah Hafiz.